God prepares a table in front of your enemies, taken from Psalm 23.5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the face of the Lord forever. This is a lesson in mind control. This week has been pretty tough as things are getting more tougher in the spiritual realm. I'm under anti-Semitic Jew restriction because I am making a stand for God, keeping my head up and mentally cheeking the old New World Order back. My physical internal symptoms are increasing. I've been spiritually almost choked and had my head cut off in the spiritual realm. Kind of laughable because it's all done to frighten you. Also, I've fasted for a week, living off root vegetables, no meat, dates, nuts, to try and get spiritually more closer to God, being as things are getting worse. I've had to keep going with mental and physical endurance, meaning I have kept my head up through strong head realming, which blocks your mind and memory and makes you forget things. Feels like an elephant sitting on your head, or actually like a headstand, the kind of feeling of helming. And helming is done by attacking the helm offender, i.e. someone who does not adhere to house rules, by focused energy directing by the rest of the helm towards the person if they don't agree. With meets my anointing as well, and the fact I won't play along with being sexually interfered with spiritually. And the more forward I look, the more this satanic around satanic snake around my waist tightens, depending on what the handler deems fit as punishment during the day. And that's Jeremy Chatsky, who I'm alleging, saying that he's responsible for. Also, being layer caked by having other spirits mount me to make me get on with stuff, and if I don't move from resting on the sofa or do not do things quick enough, which in Tom York are pressuring me to get on with a godly assignment. Mike Oldfield for not working on my music, Rabbi Singer for knowing what fasting tastes like, so they can actually taste and see your world and stuff like that. Who has it? Yeah, he's actually like riding on the bike with me. David Sylvan and Nick Rhodes watching me teaching my daughter about jelly printing, and Mark Ribrier channeling a demon into me to scare me, but also lifting me at the same time, saying I've got you, then trying to spiritually rape me. It's horrible because I thought that guy was cool, if it was really him. I don't know if these are just random things and pictures of people that they sort of put into your mind, but I'm pretty convinced that they are the people that are actually active in this big sin bin that's a big spiritual coven that's all over the world, and they all join in on this place that keeps people encapsulated. I don't know how it works. I have a funny old relationship with my handler and helmsters, where I have a laugh with them, usually at my expense when I visit the toilet or take a shower, as I hide myself so they can't see me naked as I move my eye gaze upwards. But it feels like I have a lot of spirits watching me, mainly men for entertainment value, and all these harassing spirits are being carried along with my handlers. Spirit who I can see in my face sometimes, so it's like a trace traced beyond my face, but I can't feel in my body, but he can feel me. The only thing I can feel just about is the private parts, which is very convenient, being as the Helm Network is a spiritual Tommy Cooker for sex. I was made aware of David Gray and David Sylvian this week. David Gray being a very serious spirit who is distressed and a bit peed off, and David Sylvian being a sensitive, quiet spirit that likes to watch me forage and watching me teach my daughter about bushcraft. And my alleged handler, Jeremy Chatsky, and his common law wife have been turning up the heat in punishment from the Helm, and with more intense breathing restriction, where I've been having to work harder trying to concentrate with constant distractions. I've been told what to do, voices of people as above, fat shaming me, sexual innuendo, telling me what to do. My handler can spiritually control my body, where he can move my head violently from one side if he chooses, but God lets him know in no uncertain terms he will be slewed back, so he can't go too far with me. Gets told what to do by his handler, his common law wife, as alleged Julia Greenberg. They have a sex life which is of a demonic nature, where part of the act, from what I understand, in layman's terms, is to spirit cook him by slewing, which can mean having his internal organs spiritually cut out, channeling demons during sex, using their daughter as part of the love-making act in the same way, which God dropped to me today, where he's doing this whilst I was in distress this morning, and I could feel literally a disgusting ritual going on around me, or inside me. I could feel it in my heart racing, that kind of sexual energy and fast heart beating, but it was demonic. And I slewed him back afterwards in a kind of spiritual strangle as a self-defence thing to stop them. And God says, that poor baby. And I was quite shocked that they used their daughter actually in their sexual ritual, but that's the way that they play their sex acts, and to me it's completely sick. These demonic individuals have the power to completely harness your body and spirit and do whatever they like with it. I am lucky, as God has shown his might in my favour, especially when I get angry and can't take any more. I can feel their world shake when I get angry, but I still have to be their living sacrifice for some reason, of a testimony to this world, of this terrible place a lot of people are in, which is captured in the Helm. God has chosen me because I am of a class that doesn't get taken in unless they are deemed as sex slaves and released. But for some reason I've been in this for 3 years, and apparently unless God sees to it, there is no chance of release. Sex slaves are usually released when the handler gets bored of playing with them, bumped off or sent mad, or just trapped. Goes on about the triangle of people. Basically the triangle of people that are controlled, a lot in the mid-range. You've got like us, they call the useless feeders and eaters, who are the workers that are just getting on with their lives, and then you've got the mid part of the triangle, which is your established people, scientists, pop stars, or I suppose police and military and so on, that are probably controlled by this Helm, or the upper echelons of like super famous. And then you got the top lot that control, and like I've seen like David Icke going about like families and stuff like that. And then like what God's revealed to me about this demonic seed of Jewish demonic seed. I don't know how true this is. This is yet to be confirmed. All I know is what God's dropped me in the last year. So, and then onto the kingdom spouse thing, because of the person that God led me to, which I thought was my kingdom spouse, alleged to be Jeremy Chatsky, my handler. Chose to be with his ex-common law wife, but I don't think he ever left her anyway. But God took him away for a while, apparently to and he did get better and was pulled away from these people, but he went back to it because their natures match sexually, and the fact he always loved her, and a long back history of systematic abuse has made me think again whether this was a demonic plot, either by the devil to plant a counterfeit kingdom spouse, or whether kingdom spouses are viable, or a universal deception to take down God's rising army of kingdom soldiers that have been anointed to take the world back to a new natural order from the old world order and give a last chance of redemption before rapture or judgment comes. And now to the alleged Tom York. Still not sure that this is the real guy, but I feel this spirit, which we've been separated in the home, which is we're round apart, so we can't hear or sense each other that much, because we don't want to make love to each other as God told me he needed love, but probably took that to the extreme, and I assumed he was probably the genuine kingdom spouse, but he has not confirmed this. God hasn't. My handler now has become jealous, and he still wants me as a sex slave, and doesn't want me spiritually holding him via my pillow, which is what I've been doing. I hate the watchers watching me, and the layer cakesters enjoying it neither. I am fighting to be as godly and moral as I can in this sin bin, and as in regards to the men that have abused me in the home, it's catching on and making them as my handler and the others hamsters think twice, because God gets them back eventually by re-realming them the other way. Tommy's a textbook perfect match. There are some links we have with Birmingham in common. I find his quirky looks and attractive, and his droopy eyes and his mismatched teeth, and his wild abandon, his hard-working nature, his creative spirit, his musicianship, his humour, his whippersnapper nature, his sexy voice. I hate his current long beard and miserable face though. There's a strong love, sexual energy in the helm, but as I say, I've got realmed away from that spirit, so. And I wondered whether it was God sending, because it confirmed that this person was coming in as a spirit that I was going to be aware of. But we all have been separated now via the helm, and we both got warrior spirits. And like my Sifu says, don't get involved in civilian matters. In other words, don't become emotionally attached in a difficult situation, because we are both trying to concentrate on our own worlds, and our own minds have become chaos because of the helm. They are mixing up the voices and the pictures in our heads to confuse us for being rebellious helmsters, just lifting our heads up and being normal and not bowing to the demonic order. And I just try to carry on as best I can and as normal as I can for my daughter's sake, and I have every right to hold my head up high and focus on my world. But I'm getting endless chatter from my handler, pointing my head in certain directions on a guilt trip to try and make me feel guilty about not being quick enough to do this and that and the other tasks. I just stay put, and he plays devil's advocate by saying you'll offset punishment if I do not carry out the tasks which is being administered by him sometimes, and other times, her and other times. Yeah, in other words, that he administers punishment, and so does his handler with him, his common law wife. Now the assignments God is more and more revealing. I'm having my memory interfered with via my pineal gland, which is that the handler can actually manipulate that and actually shut it down. And like Mark Ribley, or whatever his name is layer caking me now, as my alternate handler. Yeah. If anyone could bear witness stepping through from the old world order to the new natural order, this man could, in my opinion. That's Tom, because he's no, got that wrong. Yeah. If anyone could bear witness stepping through from the old world order to the new natural order, it could be Tom, in my opinion. But because he has an alleged violent handler, his wife, he's slewed quite a lot, and I have felt him fall on the floor quite a few times. Not sure if this is spiritual slewing or both physical and spiritual. I've been shown visions of his wife maybe using jars of acupressure or acupuncture candles, and he's, I could see his face in agony, like a vision from God. She is adept in witchcraft and has thrown solar plexus energy at him, me. Him and his wife is purely business arrangement or lol, or whatever, by the powers that are in place. But I get the impression that the closest he got to love was with his wife that died, and he was harassed by the same handler and common law wife. Yeah. I've got, basically the two that harassed me. The psycho killers who use victims' affections, anger, fear, distress and helplessness to their sexual advantage. Same with their daughter. I'm unsure whether this is just a single journey for me to carry out because I'm anointed, or whether Tom will join me eventually and be a witness in the real world with me, because I don't think anyone else can come forward unless they're in Christ and have got a fearless faith against all odds, whether it's like physical attacks or spiritual attacks. It's pretty clear I have gone further than anyone else in the helm with protection from God, but it's taking me to breaking point now. So the women, these are the women I'm having interactions in my mind, as I can't prove it that these are the women, it's just alleged. There are a few women associated with me in the helm, mainly men. My influencers who they use to coerce individuals into debaucherous acts for their entertainment. The helm. Julia Greenberg, my ex-kingdom spouse handler's common law wife, who's still with him, who is a long-time witch and who brought me into the helm after writing a mildly flirtatious email asking for a baseline from Jeremy Chatsky, alleged. Well, I actually asked him for a baseline, but this is the alleged thing it's associated with. Who regularly tries to kill me without no success, but gives me a damn hard time trying. She also brings a darkened energy, the worst kind, from the spirits I have sensed in the helm, which she takes as a compliment, and insults and interferes as often as she can in my life via my handler. Leia Cakes, her common law husband, my handler, to try and intimidate me, or any of the other women in the helm to intimidate me. Thankfully, she has been held back now, and again along with the other women my handlers brought in, including my ex's sister, who he has made love to her in the helm, along with my ex's mum, who's also in the helm, and they were associated with when I was beginning this journey 2 or 3 years ago, where there was get me to clean up and like sort stuff out all night, and get me up in the middle of the night and making me run round, stuff like that. Who is She is respectful and says that she knows I've gone through a lot, but this has been done as a punishment and a kind of trial of my past acquaintances and enemies that I have received no help from, and they have to play devil's advocate too. Madonna as well, alleged in the helm, got offended because I wasn't paying that much attention to the girls in the helm and not doing one of her songs, and eventually stayed back because of all the male spirits were taking up my attention. Being hard realmed energy used to punish has taken on a new mental, because it's affecting my breathing as well. Mantle, I should say. Especially when I go biking with my daughter, I have to work that little bit harder. Luckily though, when the hard helm me after checking them back whilst on my bike, I am that mad that I'll pedal faster anyway. And George Soros, who's in the helm, has threatened me as a passed on message from my handler, who's also layer caked me to intimidate me and threaten me into prison when my mind finally goes from being overly helmed, and being constantly helmed now. It's making me hard to think. It's making me feel rough as well, but I'm still going. Now I don't know, because I'm under a witchcraft attack, whether they can conjure these spirits up or whether they are genuine. This is why I say alleged a situation in Prisoner to Melanie Shaw, who always gets arrested and put back into prison over and over again. They don't leave her alone in relation to her child abuse claims. In other words, if you say the wrong thing, they make your life hard as possible. And I've heard Trump in the helm, who says it's a giant effing mess, referring to the triangle above and the physical reality of trying to clear certain monsters out of our society. My theory is that if things go well in the helm, as in a washing machine, and there is a growing sense of moral foundation, who are the leaders and frontmen and women of the world, then the world would improve a ton. I think by sending me in as his anointed, I am the mess up on the escalator to get this thing going, and it should trickle back down the escalator to the lower echelons of society to lift them up, and people will stop getting attacked by each other, adhering to the system of the old world order. From what I understand, this is an upper consciousness that captures individuals and holds them to account to a dead system as above. They definitely don't have the right to take people's spirits or layer cake them or anything, or sexually interfere with them on any account. And that's the reason why I'm holding up my head, and I'm suffering for it, because I'm a little bit doolally in the head because of being totally round and blocked. The people I've mentioned alleged have not been confirmed to be true in real life, as high-end magic and otherwise is difficult to prove, and it's unseen mainly from the physical angle, unless it manifests into mental illness, severe stress on her body, with rashes, throwing up, diarrhea and otherwise, and I've had all of that. And that's the end of that, I think. Yep. So that's more or less a statement of what's happened this week with me. So until next time, God bless, over and out.